Alright, hello, how's everybody doing here? Let's go ahead and let's get in the A310 here. We're at DCA, we're going to be heading to Ballstone. So, go up to Boston. Let's go ahead and get ready here. Let me grab my cheek lists. Alright, good. All that's set. That's all good. Alright, let's go. Get this IRS going here. Alright. We got that going. Fire tests, engine, and APU are doing right now. Alright, let's get the 8 ears on. That one, let's see what around nav there. I accidentally pushed that one past. Let me just make sure I get them on the right one or I'll be in trouble. Alright, 3 8 ears are on. Galley is going to be off a shed. Auction, low PR supply. We'll go ahead and set the emergency lights to them. Doing a little bit out of order. I shouldn't do probe heats and windshield heats. Let me make sure I do them so I don't mess them up. Window heats done. Emergency exit lights are armed. Strobes, auto, and no smoking. This would be all part of the flow. You would do this without a checklist, then you go back with a checklist. After a while, it's pretty easy. Alright, no white lights, APU, fuel pumps. Where did I miss fuel pumps? I missed fuel pumps. Let's get those. Alright. Wait for that to come up. Alright, start the APU. Let's go to the eCam page for the APU and let's watch it come up. Alright, as that's going, I'll start working on some other stuff here. So let's go ahead. I didn't screw the weight balance because it never works and I have to fix it anyway. So let's go to initialization here. We want KDCA going to KBOS, Logan International Aeropuerto. Let's see. Align the IRS. That is going. All right, 15 on the cost index. Go up to flight level 350. Flight level 350. And we're triple check 6. Charles. Alright, we'll start with that. Let's go ahead and get the weight balance going here. Alright, let's go full boat. We want to make some money here. Full boat. Come on, give it to me. Give it to me. Give it to me. Cargo and fuel. Let's see. We'll probably run with, I'd say 29,000 is fine. Let's run that in. Let's see. Alright, let's check the APU up. APU's it's accelerating still. We gotta wait for it to come all the way up. Still going on the APU. I'll keep working here while we do that. Next page on initialization here. APU is coming up slowly. You can see it accelerating. Our APU is almost instant to start. 29.5, 29.5 in the block there. 0 fuel weight. 234, I should have that memorized by now. 0 fuel weight stays the same. Gross takeoff weight. All right, CG. Let's run off the CG here. Is 18.8. 18.8. All right, that's all in. All right, let's go to the flight plan. We should be getting APU is accelerated. All right, let's go ahead and it's available. Let's put in the bleeds. All right, APU bleeds are good. I'm going to go ahead and disconnect ground power at this point. We don't need it. We'll just run off the APU. All right, let's go ahead and work on the flight plan as the IRS aligns. So we're going to be going KDCA off of runway 1. All right, and let's see, what did I put in? I put in the National 8. National 8 right there. All right, good. We'll insert that. All right, let's go to Boston. 15 right into Boston. Yeah, well, winds at 110, so we'll plan for 15 right. And we're doing the J-Fun 2. Let me just double check. J-Fun 2 is going to be our arrival there. Let's go ahead and insert that. All right. Let's start working flight plan here. Get that in there. Generally speaking, a lot of times you can just download it right from company. That's what we used to do. Let's see. Let's see. Where are we going to? Vector. All right, so it's a vector out. It's a vector up the river. So it's essentially I've done this at one IRL. You just pretty much take off. You follow the river visually, and once you get up here on the past the bend of the river, you then go. So that's it. It's a real simple visual out. You know, if the weather was down, you probably take a vector off of that. All right, Pige. All right, and then let's see. We've got... Wow, we got long legs here. Yeah, we got some long legs here. Flossie. It's not that far of a flight. I used to hand fly from New York City to Boston, but DC is a little bit further. You know, it's a lot of extra work on the other pilot if you hand fly it, because they have to spin everything on the mode control panel, where if you're on autopilot, the pilot flying spins the mode control panel. They just have to do the radios, so adds a bunch of extra work to them they don't really need. Stoli. You know, I used to like to hand fly when I could, because it was, you know, you had guys who they would, as soon as they got in the air at 200 feet, they would turn on the autopilot, and you start to lose some of that pilotage, which is not good. Mr. Seats. S-E-E-T-S, Seats. Double. D-U-B-L-E, double. All right, Swig, Woobin. Oh, it's Woober. I thought it was Woobin for Woburn. Get the Boston accent a little bit. Swig. All right, Woober, Maldi. So that's the beginning of the arrival there. So we're good there. IRS is still in alignment mode, so we're still not ready there. Waiting on that. Some other things I can do while that's going, but that's our flight plan. That looks good. All right, let's get rid of the VFR map. We don't need it. All right, let's see. APU bleed's done. External power's off. All the internal lights are set. Flight plan is in. Weight and balance is in. Let's do VREF speeds. That's something we have to do. Let's do that. We can do that while we're here. We are gross takeoff 264. All right, we're going to be taking off of 1 out of National, so let me get that. Air nav. KDCA. KDCA. I'll show you where I'm looking here on this when I bring it up. And we'll go ahead and I'll show you guys so you can see what I'm doing. All right, so here we go. I've got the airport diagram up. So we're going to be taking off of runway 1. It is 7,169 feet of runway on a heading of 006. So that's going in here. So what is it? 7169. 7169. 7169. So we're not that's not too long of a runway, but we're running pretty low on fuel because we're only going up to Boston. So not too bad. 264. 264. All right, let's calculate that out. As you notice, like sometimes my rotation speed is like 156 because we're low on fuel. That's at 136. So you know that's so was it 135, 136, 141, 135, 135, 136. And let's Navicar, we just got our IRS alignment, so let's do that. So clear, and GPS primary means we're completely aligned. We can go back and we can do pitch trims, yaw dampers, and the ATS for the auto throttles there. We can set 141 is going to be our V2. That's going to be our climb out speed initially. V2, let's go ahead and grab ATIS. Profile and nav.
Wind 011 at 6. Visibility 10. Sky condition. Few clouds at 10,100 feet.
That looks about right.
At 14,100 feet. Temperature tree 1. Dew point 10. Altimeter tree 0.04.
3004.
Runway 1 in use. Landing and departing runway 1. VFR aircraft say direction of flight. All air...
Clearance delivery Airbus November 666 Charlie Charlie IFR to Boston ready to copy.
Airbus November 666 Charlie Charlie is cleared to Boston
2000
Airport as filed.
0274.
Takeoff runway 1 climb and maintain 10,000 feet. Departure frequency is 118.905 squawk 0274.
Airbus November
Alright,
666
clearance is
Charlie
grabbed.
Charlie cleared to Boston Airport is filed. Takeoff runway 1 climb and maintain 10,000 feet. Departure on 118.905 squawk 0274.
Airbus November 666 Charlie Charlie readback is correct. Contact ground on 121.7 when ready to taxi.
217 on the for taxi. DH is in and set. Arrival altitude is set into the pressurization system. That is good. Altimeter is set. Let's go EgyptWiz. All right, brakes, anti-skid are set. Landing elevation is set. Landing gear warning test. All right, that's working. The landing gear warning test. Let's do our. We're set for toga for takeoff thrust settings. Speed brakes are retracted and disarmed. Flap levers in agreement. Parking brake is set. Takeoff warning test. Let's do that. All right, that's good. That's good. Let's get them all the way back again. All right, transponder squawk and standby. Rudder trim is 0. Weather. Let's go ahead and test it. We've got some clouds here, and then if I have real weather on, I am blowing thunderstorms up around me IRL. So could have that chance of that. So we'll run the weather test real quick. Test the flow of the oxygen mask here. All right, that's tested out. What airplane is that in front of me? CJ. It's a CJ. That's a Cessna jet. All right. Weather test looks good. We'll shut it off. All right. Stay on system 1. I'm going to end up turning it on when we get out of there. So GPU is removed. Doors are closed. No white lights in the overhead. ATS pitch trim. Yaw damper is all set. Seatbelts verify on. All right. Seatbelts are verified on. No smoking switch to auto. Fuel quantities checked. Cockpit prep is completed. Signs are on auto. Fuel quantity is 29.3. 1,000 pounds. Nav is checked, set. Landing elevation is set, about 10 feet. Altimeters are 3004 on both of them. Brake skid is going to be off. Windows are closed. Aircraft doors are closed. Cockpit doors locked. Beacon is coming on. All right, and then we are good to go. So before start windows, doors are closed both. Beacon is on, and parking brake will be on, but we'll push. How's it going there? Owl. Yeah, let's see. Hopefully we don't have any issues here. Let's go ground services. I want to push.
Washington ground Airbus November 666 Charlie Charlie requesting pushback.
Right.
Airbus November 666
Let's go to A
Charlie
on the
Charlie
ignitions.
accepted.
You alternate your ignitions so that you don't wear out the system. So you're always alternating, so you don't have one system that's used all the time, and then, oh my god, it doesn't work anymore. It needs to be replaced. So you alternate them. Just makes them last longer. And then you have the other one as a backup if you need it. Generally speaking, with a turbofan, you don't need your ignitions running all the time. You need them on start, and then you'll run them in very heavy rain. But it's incredibly, exceedingly rare to blow out a modern turbofan. You know, they pour water in them like crazy to test them. That's blow 2. Let's go ahead and we'll do the engine page here if I can find it. Where is it? Where is it? Stop. Can't find it. Where the hell's the engine page? I don't need it. I can use the other engine page here. I'm just using these. All right, fuel. I'm just curious. I forget where the engine page is. Lead, flight control, APU. Right there. How did I miss it? I don't know how I missed it. All right, that's good enough for the pushback.
Washington ground Airbus November 666 Charlie Charlie requesting the end of pushback.
Now set the brake. I'm gonna go ahead and get my joystick set up here. Now we'll get engine 1 spooled up here before we start moving on. Some planes you have to do quite a bit more, like turn on generators and everything else, but a lot of the modern stuff, the generators automatically come on when there's enough current coming through them. You don't need to do it. You pre-select them auto and they will just come on. Helps cut down. That's why you needed a flight engineer for so long, as there was a lot of work. All right, let's go ahead and blow 1. All right, 11%. We're looking for 20%, and then we're going to put in fuel. There's 19. Fuel's coming in. All right, flaps are going to go to first notch 1500, 15 slat 00 on the flaps. All right, we're in profile and nav mode for the climb out. Probably change it out in a minute. Glad I joined that today. Oh, that's good. I'm glad you're here. I've already started doing a couple flights. I could go and fly for an airline right now. It's just I need them to call me and do it. All right, let's see where we're at here. So, see, the engine's coming up here. It's at 60% N2, but look over here. It's not really warmed up yet. We could start to taxi, but, you know, I'm going to wait just a little bit. Yeah, so N1 stabilized, N2 is stabilized. We're good to taxi, so we'll go ahead. We'll put the ignitions off. We can shut the APU off as we're using the air from the engines now for the packs, the pneumatic air conditioning kits, all that. What that is on that. Cabin regulator, cabin, I don't know what that is. All right, we're good to go here. Let's go ahead and get some taxi. I'll turn on, I gotta do track IR here. Get that going. Get display cap back off. Yeah, it'll be nice for you to be here for a takeoff. Takeoff and landing are my favorite, of course. You know, it's everybody's favorite. There we go. All right, that track IR is set up. All right, good. I'm just gonna manually move me to the center here. Just double check it again. I want to make sure it's still good. Yep, it's still good. I can manually move it around with my hand as well. All right, let's go back to clearance. You don't call for taxi on clearance. You call for taxi on ground, but whatever game.
666 Charlie Charlie with Victor ready to taxi IFR.
Get rid of this armrest.
Airbus November 666 Charlie Charlie, taxi to and hold short of runway 1 using taxiway Juliet cross runway 4 Juliet.
Juliet, cross 4 Juliet.
4 decimal tree 5, when ready.
I don't know why I can't look any further to the left, but it's got me capped out there. So notice how I had them put the wheels on the line. I gotta answer her. She's gonna bitch me. So that when I turn, I'm pretty much, you know, over the line. So you can see right there. See how there's that red on the actual. See how there's red on the ground there? That's telling you that's a runway. Then beyond that, you'll see solid lines and dash lines. Solid lines you need permission to cross. Dash lines you do not. So you can leave the runway without permission. You cannot go on the runway without permission. And they used to not. Well, they didn't always put the red on the ground there, and especially at small airports, they don't. They call it a runway incursion when you go on the runway when you're not cleared to. And of course, they can be dangerous if somebody's coming to land, so you got to be careful with that and understand the signage, like knowing that that's the runway. You see there, the red is showing you that's the runway. Again, it's to get your attention. It's 119, so it's 190. We are cleared to cross runway 4. That was part of our instructions. You see 224, so we're cleared to cross that. We can. And then if you look up ahead here, we have to. This is crossing, so as you can see, when we come up here, look, you'll see those dash lines on our side. Those dash lines, and then the solids in this side. That means I can cross that without permission. So I can get back off the runway. All right, and then I can come up here, and I have to stop before I get on the runway. So you can see this whole line here. It's now solid on my side, and it's dashed on the other. That's the end of the runway. So we do not want to cross that without permission. We have not been cleared to cross runway 1. We're not crossing 1. We're taking off of 1. All right, let's do a final. Sorry about the head movements there. Let's quickly go. After start, pitch trim is set. Actually, pitch trim might not be set. I got to do a flight control check too. Let's do that. Flight control check here. And let me set the pitch trim where it needs to go, or we're going to have problems. All right, rudder trim is 0. Spoilers are coming up armed. Slats flaps is 1500. ECAM status check. Anti-ice is going to be off. Hand signal is received. That's complete. Before takeoff, let's see. TRP is set. Auto brakes, we're going to leave off. I don't like auto brakes. The speed brakes are verified arm. Flaps are set for takeoff. Weather radar is, I don't need it on right now, so I'm going to leave it off. Terrain, we'll put it on for fun. We're not going to need it. It's DC. Let's see. All right, takeoff config. Let's test the takeoff config. All right, takeoff config came up green. We're good there. Before takeoff, flight controls are checked. Briefing is confirmed. Slats 1500. Performance FMS check red. Takeoff config is checked. Transponder is set. So before the line, and then we're good to taxi. All right, rather good to take off here. Switch tower.
Washington Tower, Airbus November 666, Charlie Charlie, and runway 1 ready for departure IFR to Boston.
Airbus November 666, Charlie Charlie, altimeter 30.04.
All right, cabin is secure. TCAS TARA. Packs are set. Ignition is off. Anti-ice is off. Before takeoff check is complete. All right, we're clear for takeoff.
Cleared for takeoff.
Let's
Runway
go.
1, Airbus November 666, Charlie Charlie.
All right, this is a big plane, and we don't have that much runway. We have 7,000 feet. We'll be fine, especially at this weight. But I'm going to go ahead and hold the brakes for takeoff. See the Washington Monument coming up there right off the right side of the runway. All right, brakes are held. I'm going to bring up the thrust. So I'm going to watch. I want my N1 to come up. You notice we're not moving. Most games get this wrong where you end up moving with full thrust. If you're holding the brakes, you're not moving generally. All right, full thrust. Here we go. Airspeed's alive. A little bit of wind straight down the runway. 80 knots. A little bit to the right. You see why I held the brakes. Don't have that much runway left. V1, rotate. Positive rate, gears coming up. I'm gonna visually fly, I'm gonna hand fly us out of here. All right. So we follow the river visually. So there's the river. We do not want to fly to the right. That is the mall out of DC. Let's take a quick look at it. There's the mall. Quickly grab this so I can show you guys the mall here. So if you look over there, there's Washington Monument. That is how close you are. The White House is right there. Capitol Building's right down there. Lincoln Monument's right there. So this is, that's how close you get. That's why on this visual, a little bit of overspeed there. Pull it off, pull it off, pull it off, pull it off. I didn't put on auto throttles. I can grab, I'm going to trade a little altitude for it. Trade a little altitude for it there. But as you can see, that's why you make that left turn immediately leaving here. All right, we're good to go back on autopilot now. So that's why you make that turn immediately, as you can see, and then you follow the river out. And then, do I have a discontinuity in here? Let me look. Let's go direct to Pige. I was just kind of following the way it's supposed to be, and then we'll go direct Pige. All right, that's what they're going to give us, direct Pige. We're at our turn here anyway. Auto throttles aren't going here. Don't overspeed us. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to change the modes up here. So let's go ahead. I want VSI mode. Let's go. That's fine where we're at. Let's keep ourselves at 250. So you're really, really close to like really sensitive stuff. That's why they have a missile system there. Is somebody come out of DCA, it's very important. Like you see, there's the departure into the runway, and then here's the mall. The White House is right there. So pretty sensitive airspace right there. Oh, thank you there, Al. I appreciate it. I'll still be streaming. I'll do some stuff, you know. One nice thing is, you know, you get a lot of downtime in the hotels, especially, and then like you get a lot of days off too. So that's one of the reasons why I want to switch back too. Is I want more time off. 3255. So, and I appreciate it, Al. Thank you. All right, let's go ahead. I'm gonna take off track IR. There we go, so I can move my head. But I appreciate it. Yeah, I'll still be able to stream. I won't be able to stream as much, but I think it'll be a little bit better. Like, you know, I'll be able to stream when I want to. 210. So it's like anything, you know, you know, when you're able to do something all the time, you take it for granted, and when you don't, you know, it's more special. So it'd be nice. You know, I'll still get 2 to 3 days off every week or more, and then like there were days in the airlines where I would fly for 2 hours and then go to the hotel. You know, so like we would have days that were like 3 or 4 hours long, and then we'd go to the hotel. So I'm gonna buy a really good laptop, and I'll be able to stream in the hotel. You know, of course, there might be some hotels that have some pretty garbage internet, but, you know, we'll see. I'm still shocked this leg is this long. You see how long of a leg that is? That's so friggin' flossy. It's a long-ass leg. What airport is this? This gotta be Philly. No, BWI. That was BWI. Been into BWI. Not a fan. Why are we... Oh, I didn't put the flaps up. What a dickhead I am. I was wondering why we're still speed limited. That was my fault. It's all my fault. I'm flying. I didn't put the flaps up. I'm like, why am I still speed restricted? I appreciate it there, Al. Yeah, it'll be fun to fly again. I enjoyed the flights I've done so far. It's I like flying professionally. That's my favorite. So, you know, I like the big equipment. I like doing a professional setting. Just, you know, I do enjoy putting around a small airplane, but I would much rather be in a jet. Like, I like going into, like, I like more challenge. This is like more challenging. And then taking a really huge airplane with passengers on there and having a beautiful butter smooth landing is very rewarding. I like doing all that. Alright, we're going to go ahead and dump the nose just a little bit. Let's climb out at 1,700 feet per minute's good. Alright, we're going to go right into climb mode. That reduces, so we were at 102% N1 max. We're now at 90% N1 max. Okay, I didn't turn on some of the lights that I should have turned on, but that's alright. We're good there anyway. I rushed it trying to get out. Sometimes the time I'm on the ground takes forever. It depends on where I go. Like, ideally, I would like to go to like a JetBlue or something with 170, 190s and 320s. We'll see. You know, it depends. Yeah, we'll see. You know, might have to go do some, you know, if I go to a corporate gig, a 135 gig, you know, it could be a bunch of different aircraft, but I'd rather go to the airlines. We'll see what happens. Probably a good chance of like a Embraer 170, 190, something like that. It's all seniority based. You bid on what you want. The bigger airplanes pay more money, so it's all based on seniority. I like the, like recommended how just for FlightSim. This is free. That's one reason I like it. But I do like this old school of airplane. I like these old round dials. I like the old FMSs. I like it better. A lot of the newer stuff's just very, very automated, and so it's like, you know, I'm playing a game here. I'm not flying for 8 hours a day, where that automation helps reduce your workload and your exhaustion. Like when you're actually flying, it's nice to have like an A320 with modern systems that are a little bit more automated, a little bit more user friendly, just because it's not putting as much stress on you guys. Like, you know, if you're in IMC in instrument conditions all day, like, it can be exhausting, and so it's like you want some of those like helpful systems. You know, something like this would be more work. So
Airbus November 666 Charlie Charlie. Contact New York Center on 132.2. Good day.
you know, so I like this plane. It's more old school.
New York Center Airbus November 666 Charlie Charlie is at flight level 190, climbing flight level 210.
Airbus November 666 Charlie Charlie. New York Center radar contact continue.
All right, we're coming up on 200 for 210.
Airbus November 666 Charlie Charlie. Climb and
Yep, there
maintain
is.
flight level 310.
310.
Climb and maintain flight level 310 Airbus November 666.
Oh, you got the 7378. Yeah. I like the 737s. They're all right. You know, like some of the planes you bid in the airlines too are like what you want to do. So, for example, like say you're at American Airlines that has a lot of international flights, you might make more money going on the 777.
November 666 Charlie Charlie. Contact New York Center on 135.45. Good day.
135.45 Airbus November 666 Charlie Charlie. Goodbye. New York Center Airbus November 666 Charlie Charlie is passing flight level 205, climbing flight level 310.
Airbus November 666 Charlie Charlie. New York Center radar contact continue.
You know, you might make more money going on the 777, doing some international flights, saying go from New York to India. But the problem is, you know, you may not want to sit on a plane for 14 hours. You know, that might not be your jam. You know, if you bid the 737, they have more 737s, and you could do some domestic stuff, you could do some international stuff. You're going to be probably more senior on it, so you can get better routes that have more, you know, like you can bid the days off you want and stuff like that. It depends, you know. You know, like not everybody likes international stuff. You know, like I don't know if I would like to sit on a plane for 14 hours with a relief crew and switch out crews halfway through and go sleep in the back of the plane and then go spend a day there and come back. Like that might not interest me. Like something where you do like 3 or 4 flights a day. Like some days I think the longest, like the most legs I did when I was at the airlines was 8, which was nuts. You know, like I don't want 8 legs a day, but like one really long leg a day is pretty, can wear you out. And again, you're only getting one takeoff and landing, so you're up at cruise forever, and you only get one takeoff and landing. You know, so you could theoretically not fly the entire flight. You know, you could, you know, if it's the captain's turn to fly, you could not fly the entire day, and so you know, you just sit there and run the radios for the day, and then the next day is yours. You know, I would rather, like, if we have, you know, 3 or 4 legs or you know, 5 legs or something like that, you're alternating legs, who's flying, who's not flying. I think it's more interesting. You know, if you really want more money, you might say, hey, I'm going to get on this plane, I'm going to go grind in some money for some years, you know, or there's a, you know, route that you like. Yeah, it's, you know, there are definitely certain things like, these types of displays here are really informative. The ability to have speed tapes and altitude tapes are really good. Like this one doesn't even have an altitude tape on it. You know, stuff like that. I think is the modern stuff is really has better user interface, and human factors is better. But you know, like this, I don't mind the extra workload. I'm sitting here by myself, and you know, it's just a game. It's like I don't have to worry too much. Like I didn't run through the checklist and left off some lights, not a big deal. But like some of the airplanes, like for example, a lot of the Airbus stuff, you have autos here. So like your strobes are set to auto, they'll automatically come on. So you don't have to like click them on. It's not a big deal. Like literally, the lights are so much, like a lot of the stuff in the game is harder to do than it would be in real life. Like the lights, like literally when you go to take off, you put a finger on this, a finger on this, a finger on this, and you just flick all three of them up in one quick motion. You know, and if you're doing nav 2s, you go click, click, done. You know, and so a lot of the stuff is like I have to move the camera and then I have to do it. That's why it's like stressful to land in game is like if I was the pilot flying, the other pilot would be doing the radio. I wouldn't have to answer the radio at all. And then if I'm hand flying and landing, like they're touching the buttons. I don't have to reach for the flaps. I just call for flaps and they will pull the flaps. I'll call for spoiler. They'll pull the, you know, they'll arm the spoiler. They'll do all that. So it's less work with the two people. All right, let's see what time we expect to be in there. Flossie, 139 miles. This isn't that long of a trip. 2252, so we get about 21 minutes in there into Flossie, and then we're pretty much all the way. We get on this arrival really fast. So I'm going to go ahead and start setting up for Boston. Again, getting ahead of this, like we look at our arrival time, our estimated arrival time here. We're looking at 23:26, so a little less than an hour. You know, so it sounds like a lot of time, but, you know, it happens pretty quick, and especially IRL, you end up having to talk on the radio all the time. Let's see. We got a bunch of messages here. Okay, there. Climb and maintain flight level 350. 350. It's 350 in the box. All right, notice our speed's coming down. I'm managing our own climb, so I have to keep an eye on that. I can also increase our speed here, but we're already at 101% of thrust, so... Yeah, I copied, but when you give me a second there, bud.
Climb and maintain flight level 350 Airbus November 666 Charlie Charlie.
All right, 350, so we got to keep an eye on that speed there. We're at 102%. That means we're not going to get any faster, so I'm going to pop a little bit of, bring that nose down a little bit. It probably should have dropped it a little bit earlier. And I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to bring up the speed here to, we'll do 8.2. So bringing that nose down is going to help us. We only have 5,000 feet left. Let's go ahead, and I want to grab air nav, and we'll go ahead and we'll get Boston put in here. How's it going there, Cutler? No FlightSim, nope. All right, let's see. KBOS. All right, going into Logan. Where's the runway diagram for Logan? Where the hell? What? You don't have an airport diagram? It's definitely on the chart. We'll just grab it off of 15 right. There's 15 right, and then we're doing the JFun 2, and it's 2 pages, so we need both pages here. Right. We'll just grab the diagram off of this. So here's the airport diagrams right there. Let's go ahead and look at JFun 2 first. All right, let's see. We're coming in off of Pond CT, so it's probably Connecticut. Stoli, MNSTA. We want to be above flight level 240 there. At Sheets, we want to be between flight level 210. And we want to be going 280 knots at Sheets, so we got to keep that in mind. at double above 17,000 feet. Base Z is above 14,000 feet. J-Fun, you got anything on J-Fun? No. All right, and then we're landing on 15 right. So from J-Fun, on track of 090 to cross Badka at or above 9,000 feet, and at 250 knots, then track 090 to Wachu at 7,210 knots, then on track 1212 SSAM, track of 148 to Adams, then on track 148, expect radar vectors final approach course. So pretty much all I really care about all that. What? What? I didn't do I didn't do ATIS. What the hell's that? I did not click on the ATIS. Let me check my last frequency. 13545? Yeah. What? Why is... Okay. Com 2. What the fuck is going on here? Why is that on? I accidentally clicked VHF2. What the hell is going on here? We're on 13545. Okay. What is going on here? I don't know what the fuck is going on here. It's definitely not VHF1. Maybe it's a game bug that I have to deal with. I don't know what. It could be on my. Could be on. Here. Could very well be on AirNav. Please look. Make sure it's not on AirNav. Could be reading the current. I didn't listen to where it is. Stand by. I gotta deal with this in a second. What is going on? The game is fucked up. It's a game. It's me reading it back, the ATIS back to... What the fuck is this? What are you doing? Okay. See, the game's bugged. It's got me reading the ATIS. What the fuck? That is so fucked. It's got me reading the ATIS. He had me read back the ATIS. Ugh. That's so fucked. Alright, let's get back to what I was doing before the circus came to town. Alright, so that's what we're doing in here. It seems complicated, it really isn't. Like, the things we need to understand out of this is we need to make sure we cross these altitudes at or above 280 knots at Sheets. We need to observe that. Crossing restrictions there. And then, where is it? At Wachu, we want to be going no faster than 210. That's pretty much all we really care about on that. 110.7, 149, 149. 10.7, 149. 10.7. 10.7. Reason why I say 10 instead of 10 like you're supposed to is it's easier to remember. I'm not saying it into the radio that way. I'm saying it to remember it. So like 149, I believe is what it was here. Let me see. That makes sense because it's runway 15. So sometimes I'll say it incorrectly because that will make it easier to remember. So 110.7 and 145. So it'd be 110.7 is the appropriate way to say it, but 110 is a little bit easier for me to remember than 110. Let's check the... trying not to click shit that I don't want to. Right, 110.7 and 145. All right, 110 is reporting 7149. Okay, let's fix that. 149er. All right, let's see. Touchdown zone elevation is 17 feet. Let's see. What do they say? Wooper? No, we'll be going below 210 in there. 4,000 at Swig, 3,000 at Wooper. We'll follow the ILS in 1,007 to start with that. Decision height of 267. We'll put that in when we get closer. Yep. And then that's going to be about it. So we're coming in on 1.5. Hell, 1.5 right here. And then probably get a gate somewhere in here. So we're probably going to make it all the way down to here. Right turn, expect cross the 2-2s, and then we'll go in there is where we expect the taxi. All right, that's good. Yeah, ATC being weird in this game. What a shock, huh? That was weird. Started reading, like I looked and there was no frequency for it. It was just putting ATIS on, and then it wanted me to read back the ATIS. What are you doing? All right, decision is going to be, what did I just say? I just said it. 267. $267 feet. All right, shut it back off for now. It's in there, in and off. And then that's about it on the landing elevation. Let's go ahead. We're in cruise. Let's go to cruise mode. All right, we're looking good there. Everything looks good above. All right, all set. So it's 22:41's present time, and we again should expect to be in at 23:23, so about 43 minutes, 42 minutes, somewhere in that neighborhood. We're still going to Flossie. This is a long leg out. It's going behind New York, so maybe they would give us such a long leg, but it's rare. It's rare, like if there's airports down there, but it does make sense. If we're going to the west of New York, that might be fine, you know, just to give us the long leg. Yeah, we can go ahead and shut the seatbelts off so the people can walk. What is it doing? What is it doing? Did I press it? Like, I was out of the game. I don't know. Did I press it? I'll check it again. I'll see if I'm on something. I'll see if I got something clicked on by accident. VHF1. VHF1. Okay, let's duel up 124625. Okay, that's what it was. I don't know why we have dual comms on like this. Let's see, can I go off? No. 124625. I'll make them the same. Yeah, I don't know what the deal is. See, like IRL, I should be able to shut off this. Let's see if I can do it in this. Okay, let me see. Can I shut off here, let's see if I can completely shut off VHF1. Alright, VHF1's muted on 2, but I'm afraid, let's see if this one's muted. Okay, so IRL, I can control these two radios independently of one another. I was just nervous that this is going to screw me, but it looks like we're good. So I get that VHF on 2. So somehow VHF2 got turned on to ATIS. I don't know what the deal is. What it probably was is I may have accidentally turned it on the ground, and then as we get closer to airports using the same ATIS frequency, it's registering. But I did read back ATIS to ATC, which is weird. So I don't know what's up with it. If it's the game or I accidentally clicked it when I wasn't looking or what. but very, very strange nonetheless. All right, let me see. I got some messages on. Got somebody in Stormworks who's just like going in and haunting my something on the workshop. This is why I don't like putting stuff in the workshop. See if I can block comments, a certain person's comments from stuff on Steam.
Airbus November 666 Charlie Charlie, contact New York Center on 132.6. Good day.
Is that us? It's gotta be. They're not talking to anyone else.
132.6 Airbus November 666 Charlie Charlie. Goodbye. New York Center Airbus November 666 Charlie Charlie, flight level 350.
Airbus November 666 Charlie Charlie, New York Center radar contact, continue to Flossie.
Oh yeah, you looking at the comments on Discord there, Al? Yeah. It's like, that's why I haven't been putting stuff in the workshop either, is it's just like rude people. Like, and you know, there were guys who used to make mods for Farming Sim, and they had to deal with rude people all day, and they said, you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna keep it for my friends. And they would just give their mods to their friends. And, you know, and that's, I think, you know, that's what happens when people are rude about something free. Somebody gives you something for free, you don't have to like it. Nobody's saying you have to like it. So, don't use it. You know, it's for free. You know, you paid nothing for it. Go, you know, especially in Stormers, it's a building game, go build it yourself. You know, and then they're coming and be rude. It's like, all right, well, screw it. I won't even participate anymore. You know, and so it's, I just delete that jackass's comments. You know, nobody asked for his input, you know.
Airbus November 666 Charlie Charlie, contact Boston Center on 134.3.
343, sure.
Going to 134.3 Airbus November 666 Charlie Charlie. Boston Center Airbus November 666 Charlie Charlie, flight level 350.
Alright, let me find the,
Airbus November 666 Charlie Charlie, Boston Center radar contact. Continue to Flossie.
Flossie. Still on our way to Flossie. All right, at MNSTA, we're going to be above 240. So we expect they're going to probably start getting us down around there. So what's that at MNSTA? So it's around the corner. It's right here. It's right there. So got a ways to go. Ways to go. Yeah, I can imagine. It's just like, you know. I also love the attitude like, I'm just offering, constructive criticism. Like, no, you're not. Like, like, for example, one, I'm not a huge fan of unsolicited criticism. It's like, if people want help, they'll ask for help. Like, somebody will be like, hey, like, you see it all day long, especially in store marks. People will post a picture, they'll say A or B. Do you like this cockpit layout better, or B? Do you like this one better? That is people asking for your input. Other than that, most people don't want your input. Or they don't want your negative input. Like, people ask if they want the negative input. And the other thing, too, is a lot of people don't understand what you're trying to achieve. So, like, this person is bitching about, my boat isn't fast enough. My boat goes faster than the real one. And that's what I want. I was building a realistic vehicle. That's what I wanted. It's still what I want. And so I have no interest in making it some unrealistic Stormarks 50-mile-an-hour crab boat. No interest. And especially with crab, I don't need it to go fast because literally you can get crab anywhere. So why do I care? And so it's like, that person's feedback is useless to me because I'm not looking for the feedback, so it's wasted breath. And two, your feedback goes against what my goals are. So it's like, for example, you make a car that's supposed to be a four-door sedan for a family, and somebody's like, oh, you know what you should do? Take out 2 seats and go make it a 2-door and take off the roof and make the trunk smaller. It will go faster. And it's like, yeah, the goal isn't to go faster. The goal is to make a 4-door family sedan that is fuel efficient. That's the goal. So the comment about ripping out 2 seats in a family sedan makes no sense. So, for example, I'm looking at the spec sheet for the boat that I was modeling mine after. It goes 8.5 knots IRL. My boat goes 15 knots. Considerably faster than what it would go. So 8.5 divided by 15. 8.5 divided by 15 is 56% faster. So my goal is to make a reasonable speed, a reasonably realistic boat. And I've already made it 56% faster than the real thing. So it's like this person's commentary is obnoxious. It's not helpful. I didn't ask for their commentary. I don't want their commentary. I don't need it. Like, it's just not it's not interested, And so once somebody's told you they're not interested in your help, it's best to say, okay. Like, I had some people yesterday. They asked for help. I gave them something, a tutorial. It was a different person, but they were like, oh, the tutorial's too long for me. I've had that before where you give somebody a tutorial and they're like, oh, this is too long. And you're like, okay, go find one you like then. That I don't care. Like, not interested, go do something else, man. If it's not what you're looking for, go do something else. It's like I don't go on the workshop when somebody has a boat that goes 65 knots and be like, oh my god, this thing sucks, it's so unrealistic. Because that person's not looking for that. That person built a boat, maybe they have limited time and they want their boat to go unrealistically fast, but they want it to look like they want it. So if they ask me, like, hey, do you think this boat's too fast? I want to get out there quickly, but it's, I know it's unrealistic. I'm like, yeah, it's pretty unrealistically fast, but if that's what you're doing, what you want, great. Go with God. Vaya con Dios. It's just, it's silly sometimes. You know, it was like last night I put up a I put up a tutorial. Again, this guy, I don't know why he butted in. He had nothing to do with it. Like, there was this poor kid, he's trying to make a helicopter. And he was putting on boat propellers. That's the level of desperation he was doing for a tail rotor. And this guy who was trying to be helpful, but he really wasn't, kept, like, you know, he was monopolizing the chat in general instead of just, like, going in and helping the kid. And he was giving him some wrong ideas that were just not going to work. And, like, this kid's trying to make a conventional helicopter, and he's like, oh, just make a coax. Like, the guy's trying to make a conventional. So I sent him the coax and the conventional helicopter tutorials. And this kid, who, again, is not the guy asking for help. He's somebody else was like, it must suck. It's an hour if it's an hour long. It's like, no, it doesn't suck. The difference is you want a 5-minute tutorial that doesn't teach you how anything works. You just want, okay, do this, do that, done. Okay, great. And that's fine. There are plenty of those tutorials out there. Most of Stormworks tutorials are the 5-minute, do this, 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 and this. Don't explain why you do any of that tutorials. I have no interest in making those. That's covered. There are plenty of people who make those 5-minute tutorials in Stormworks that are, you know, and they're great. Some of them are fantastic. And if that's what you're looking for, great. Go to those people's YouTubes, watch their videos, and watch a 5-minute tutorial. Be my guest. Nobody's stopping you. But if you want to learn something, if you want to learn the mechanics, if you want to learn why X, Y, and Z work, if you want to learn how to tune this, because, like, in my helicopter tutorial, I show you the mechanics on how to build it. I then show you how to convert the engine from, I believe it was like the car or something, into the helicopter. I then show you how to tune your tail rotor so your tail rotor is going the correct speed for your rotors. I then show you how to tune the gyro. It's a much more in-depth thing. So instead of spending 2 hours on the forums getting frustrated, talking to people who may or may not know what they're talking about, you can watch a 1-hour video. And at the end of the 1-hour video, you know everything you need to know to be able to do it. And that's why I do a comprehensive tutorial. You know? And if you're not interested in a comprehensive tutorial, nobody's keeping you here. That you can go watch a different one. You know, and that's why I find that sort of shit silly. Is it's like, you know, not everything's made for, you know, you know? Yeah, I think that's so silly. Like, Owl's comment's good. He goes, can you imagine having the time to go on other people's creations and bitch? You know, it's silly. It's like, and then they act, again, they act like they're doing you a favor. You know, either they're ignorant and don't know how anything works in the world, or they're actively trolling. It's one or the other. You know, it's like they know what they're doing, or they're ignorant of it. You know, and it's, you know, like, I've never once thought to go in the workshop, look at somebody's build, and be like, ugh. You know, like, poor Neatnot. Neatnot has been doing some, like, Neatnot's builds take forever. Like, poor Neatnot made one, what's this, Conviva, I think. And he's got these, like, shit. I thought Neatnot should be a followed off. That's me. 2135.
Going to 121.35 Airbus November 666 Charlie Charlie. Boston Center Airbus November 666 Charlie Charlie flight level 350.
Airbus November 666
Honk.
Charlie Boston Center radar contact. Continue to PONCT.
Yo, DC. I wonder if that's somewhere in Connecticut. I would say that's probably what it is. Let's look at the VFR map and see if that's somewhere in Connecticut. The CT is making me think it's Connecticut. No, we're in New York. Yeah, that's the Hudson River right there. Yeah, let's look what it is. I thought that was Connecticut. That's Albany? Oh, it's right off of Albany, huh? We fly over Albany. ATC was trying to kill me one day in Albany. You know, it was actually interesting timing. I was at work, and my parents were taking my grandmother. She lived outside of Albany, and they were taking her out to California to see my uncle. So they were going to go Albany to Chicago, O'Hare, and then go out to San Jose. And I happened to be in Albany the same time they were. So we came in, and it was like their flight was the same time I was leaving. So I went early to the airport and hung out with them. And then I flew to Chicago, where my base was, and they flew to Chicago. And so then we had a couple hours to hang out again there, which was nice. And I have a nice picture with all the family together in Albany. And so anyway, so we taxi out to Albany. And so I believe we taxied out to this runway here. So we taxied from the gate down here to this runway. Now, as we're sitting here, there are bad thunderstorms all around. They're all out this way. And so we're sitting there at the end of the runway. And then we start seeing ATC taxi the planes down to the other end of the runway. And we're watching as thunderstorms are all around. And then I see the windsock. The windsock is facing this way, meaning that we should be taking off into the wind. Then the windsock flips 180 degrees, and it turns this way, which is a really bad tailwind, and you do not want to be taken off with a tailwind. And then, so I'm about ready to click on to tell ATC I want the other end of the runway. Stand by. Like, it was bad. Like, it was a really strong wind shift because of the thunderstorms. Check in real quick, and I'll finish the story.
Boston Center Airbus November
And so,
Charlie Charlie flight level 350.
Airbus November 666 Charlie Charlie Boston Center radar contact. Continue to Stoli.
so I'm getting ready to call ATC and tell them that I want to taxi to the other end of the runway and take off. And they clear us for takeoff. So I tell the captain, like, hold on a second. Because in the background, I can hear beep, 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 beep. So, like, when ATC clicks on, I hear beep, 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 beep in the background. And I click on, I go, that's not the wind shear alert, is it? Because I literally just saw the sock turn 180 degrees. The wind completely shifted 180. And he goes, yeah, it is. And I go, then we're not taking off of whatever this runway is. It's a southern runway 18. Like, we're not taking off of 18. We want 36. And so then he had to taxi us down because he was going to try to take us off with a massive tailwind. It was not a good idea to take off with a tailwind like that.
Descend and maintain flight level 290 Airbus November 666 Charlie Charlie.
But, like, that's the big thing between, like, professional pilots and amateurs is ATC is not trying to hurt you, but they can make mistakes too, and you have to be able to take control and be like, no, we're not doing that, we're doing this. And you'll see that with professional pilots is like, they'll be like, nope, we're not doing that, we're doing this. And ATC will generally go with you because they realize they made a mistake. And it was like, that guy was just going to clear us to take off and didn't realize that wind shear alert should worry him for taking somebody off with a tailwind after he just taxied everyone over to the other side, you know? So it was, they ended up taxiing us down the runway, and then we took off first, which we should have. We were, we were first in line. We should have taken off first, so. But that was something like we used to teach our students is, you are in charge of making sure you don't get hurt. And if ATC gives you something you're not comfortable with, you need to speak up. And that was one of the best things you can teach a pilot is, if you're not comfortable, you need to speak up. Because if you tell ATC you're not comfortable with that, they will then realize that, either this person's right, or they'll explain it, or they'll help them out. You need to be able to speak up. We can go down faster now. I just started slow to get that speed off.
Airbus November 666 Charlie Charlie. Contact Boston Center on 123.75. Good day.
You could trust them, but again, you need to trust all the information. Like, I didn't need the wind shear alarm in the background. It just confirmed what I already knew, that the sock had just turned 180 degrees. And, like, I'll show you a wind sock in a second.
Boston Center Airbus November 666 Charlie Charlie is at flight level 325, descending flight level 290.
Airbus November 666 Charlie Charlie Boston Center radar contact. Continue to MNSTA.
Minsta. All right, so we're going to this MNSTA. MNSTA, we're supposed to be above 240, so 290 is fine. We're not violating anything. We're going to keep that in mind. So here, let's look at the windsock super fast, and then I'll go to something else here. I gotta keep paying attention. But if you look at the windsocks here, this is 3 knots, 6 knots, 9 knots, 12 knots, and 15 knots. This is what the windsock looked like. It was facing this direction, and then it instantly went and turned the other direction. That is a bad sign of a microburst. So you really, and we had thunderstorms everywhere. We were painting them. It's like, you got to be careful of that shit. And so it was like, you know. Yeah, you just have to advocate for yourself. That's the main thing. So MNSTA, we want to be above 240. So I expect they're going to probably give me a descent. They're always late. Here it is. Yep, they're always late. The game probably doesn't expect you to be going this fast. It's one of the reasons I slow down a little bit early is the game doesn't really... They don't give you your descents quick enough. I doubt we're going to paint any weather. Let's go ahead and turn on weather mode. I doubt we're going to paint anything. It's pretty... Like, you see there's no real dark patches, but IRL, the Northeast was getting battered with thunderstorms. Like, that might paint a little over there, but this stuff's pretty thin. If it's completely white and there's no like dark spots, it doesn't really, like, none of the rain's in there really. Oh, there's moisture in there, but there's no real rain in there. The rain will block out the sun. So you have to add it. So essentially, let's say that the rotation speed on the airplane is 125 knots. If you have a 25 knot tailwind, you now have to go 150 knots to take off. That's really all that's happening there. You know, it's just you now have to take off at a faster ground speed to be able to get off the runway, and so that's the problem. And it won't show on your airspeed indicator. It'll still show 125 knots on your airspeed indicator, but your ground speed will be 150 knots. And so you're now going a lot faster than you should be going to take off. And if you take off into a headwind, if you have the same 25 knot headwind, you now, if you're taking off at 125 knots, your ground speed is 100 knots. So you're taking off and you require less runway. The main problem with the tailwind is, one, the wind is, and it's harder to slow down. So if we had to abort the takeoff, we now have 25 knots of wind pushing us down the runway. It's hard to stop, so you don't want to land with a tailwind either. Like if you're coming in and you're coming in at 135 knots to land, if you have a 25 knot headwind, your ground speed is going to be 110. Plus you have 25 knots of wind helping you stop the airplane. If you're coming in with a tailwind and your approach speed's 135 knots, you're now adding that, right? So you're at 160 knots ground speed, and now you have that 25 knot tailwind pushing you instead of 210, 280. 210, and they do tell me the 280. That's at seats. So we actually have a little bit of time for seats. So we're slowing it down. So 210, I got to put in the descent here. So I kind of leveled for a second there just to let it go. Again, we have to cross these above these marks. They're not ats, so I can slow down my descent a little bit if I need to. I'm just going to go ahead. She wants to slow down at seats. I'm going to go ahead and crack spoilers here. We'll get us slowed down. We're not descending that far. You see the thrust is coming up? That means I don't want them fighting. I don't want my brakes fighting my thrust, so that means that we'll be able to slow down on our own. And as you can see, at seats, we're doing about 280. Within 10 knots is fine. All right, so see right here? See that? This is weather right there where my cursor is. That is rain. So it's not bad. It's not, we don't have to worry about it. If you look like this, see the red spot? That's worse. We wouldn't want to go in the red spot This is fine. I'd fly right through that. I've flown through red before. It is hairy. That trip out of Albany, we flew right through red shit. It was like absolutely pissing down rain, but it wasn't like terrible or anything. Like you can get some bad turbulence in there, but we were all right. We kind of worked our way through it. Like if I had to fly through this cloud, I would go right through the middle between the reds. You can ask for deviations with ATC. Like I would not fly right through that just for the sake of going through it. I would ask for a turn. 17,000. 17,000.
Descend and maintain 17,000 feet. Airbus November 666 Charlie Charlie.
And again, they got, generally speaking, in this speed of plane, the game has me slower than I'm going faster than the game can keep up with in this speed of an airplane. So I'm going to kind of descend on the fast side of things. Should be pretty good with spoilers at this point. I'm going to go ahead and arm them up.
Airbus November 666 Charlie Charlie, you are 51 miles west. Descend and maintain 7,000 feet. Expect localizer runway 15 right approach via Golf Delta Mike.
Localizer.
transition.
You say ILS?
Golf Delta Mike.
Just localizer, huh? Okay. Localizer 15 right.
666 Charlie Charlie, descend
GDM.
and maintain 4,000 feet.
4,000. She's feeding me fast here. All right. 4,000 feet.
Descend and maintain 4,000 feet. Expect
4,000
localizer
feet.
runway 15 right approach.
GDM.
Golf Delta Mike transition. Clear to Golf Delta Mike Airbus November 666
Golf Delta
Charlie
Mike.
Charlie.
I gotta look at the approach. Hold on, I gotta pull an approach. She's got me going late here, so I gotta really do this fast. She changed the approach on me. We're on the localizer 15. It's the same approach. Okay, we're good. Let me pull it up again. GDM. Where the fuck is that? Gardner. GDM. Okay, I want to go direct. GDM. That's Gardner, Mass. GDM. Gardner, Mass. Go in there. Insert Gardner. All right. So we're going direct Gardner now. All right. So I don't see Gardner yet. I'm trying to zoom out so I can see it. She's got me going behind. Bullshit. That's bullshit. We're not doing that. She's got me. She's all fucked up. We're going back to Swig. She's trying to kill us here. There's no way in sunny Christ they would ever in a million years do that. That's behind me. Gardner's right there. She should have cleared me to Gardner before I got to goddamn Gardner. Just ATC in game being stupid. I didn't think that sounded right. I looked in the chart and I'm looking at Gardner. I'm like, Gardner? I'm like, it looks all right in the chart. Like, here, I'll show you. There's Gardner right here. This is Gardner. So we're inside of Gardner right now. I was like, that's why it didn't look right to me. I was like, what? Gardner. All right, see, she's turning us right towards this thunderstorm. It's fine. It's all greens. We're going to miss it as we go right to Swig, so we're fine. But, like, that's what it looks like when these are hairy. See how dark they are? The rain is blocking the light from going through it, so the cloud appears very dark. That's what a real bad rain cloud is going to look like. Like, literally, I'm not that far out of Boston, like, mileage-wise. Like, so, mileage-wise, I'm pretty close to Boston. We had really, like, torrential downpours, so I kind of expected this. That's why I turned on the weather before we got in here. All right, I'm going to go ahead and just pull some speed off here. 210 I want. And I need spoilers again, so I'm going to disarm them and put them on. She's just really... They give me my altitude so late. Really? 4,000? Looking at it. Yeah, 4,000 at Swig. Okay. We got to go down. I'm going to have to really crank it to get down here. So, like, looking ahead here, like, these could be bumpy IRL, but they're not going to be, like, horrendous. Because you notice there's no moisture in there. It's just, like, there's moisture. That's why there's a cloud. But it's not like we're going through up and down drafts. 33.325 too.
Good day.
133.25 Airbus November 666 Charlie Charlie.
there's a reason why it's windy in a thunderstorm is it has to be windy enough to hold the water in the cloud.
Airbus November 666 Charlie Charlie Boston Center altimeter tree 0.0 tree radar contact.
Zero,
Continue to
three.
Golf Delta Mike.
We're not going to Gardner.
Airbus November 666 Charlie Charlie. Contact Boston approach on 118.25.
Trying to go to Gardner again.
Good day.
I'm gonna have to bring up my rate here. I can't keep descending like this. I'm not gonna make 250 knots. I don't want to put the gear down yet either. We're doing all right. We're at 9,000. Again, it's not like you're gonna get pulled over by the cops. They will bitch at you for going too fast, but you gotta try at least. Like I've got my spoilers full out. She gave me late altitudes.
Approach altimeter tree 0.01 radar contact. Continue
Pressure's
to Golf Delta Mike.
pressure's dropping. We're not going to Gardner. It's not happening. Stick it right up your ass. We're not going to Gardner. Not happening. Not doing it. It's behind me. Oh, is it? There's there a bug? Yeah, it's just. Yeah. All right, so now you notice I pulled my nose up, so we're doing 250 now. And we're doing all right. We're currently 6 nautical miles out. We're only doing between 4 and 5 miles a minute, so we got a minute and change, and we're currently going down to 2,000. So we'll be up about 1,000 feet high, but I should be able to. Thrust is all the way back with spoilers all the way back, so I can't really do anything. We're descending about as fast as I can. I could probably, let's drop down 500 feet per minute because I'm about 10 knots slow. Or actually, we're supposed to be at 210, but that's not going to happen. I need to get my altitude down. All right, decision height's coming on, 265. So we're close on this. We'll start coming in. But yeah, we had really bad thunders. Like it was pouring here, and I'm like 20 miles out of Boston.
666 Charlie Charlie. Descend and maintain
3.
3,000 feet.
3,000, thank you much.
Descend and maintain 3,000 feet. Airbus November
We'll be all right. We'll
666
catch the
Charlie
glide
Charlie.
slope. You can see it's coming up. We're all right. All right, I'm going to turn on Track IR again. There we go. All right. All right, let's get set up here. I think we're pretty good. What are we doing here? 240? I think I can blow a notch of slats at 240. Just pull a notch of slats. See, I'm sitting right at 240 on the slats. That will help me slow down a little bit. Gonna give me a little bit of drag. All right, gear's coming down. I need the drag. We still have full slats out. That's gonna help me watch the speed pour off here. Like I'm supposed to be at 210. This is what we do IRL if you can't get slowed down. You just can't get slowed down at the moment. All right, see it's starting to thrust me up at 210. That's fine. I'm gonna go flap it. Ah shit, it's gonna bitch me out.
Airbus November 666 Charlie Charlie. You are 12 miles northwest of Boston. Contact Boston Tower on 128.8.
There we go. It didn't like the speed breaks out going that slow. Yeah, it will be unoverspeeded in 2 seconds. Just piss off.
666 Charlie Charlie.
Fuck off. I need the speed. I need my speed down here. I need my speed down. I need it. Shut up. Busy.
Cleared localizer runway 15 right approach.
See, everything's coming up late here. I gotta just. I'm a little bit behind because she was behind. So. Alright, we're cleared the localizer 15. We're completely in the shit now. Let's go ahead. Autopilot's coming off. ILS is coming on. I gotta catch up because everything's late. Auto throttles are off. Alright, we gotta catch up here. Shut up, autopilot. Nobody likes you. All right, let's catch up. All right, runway's in. Looks like runway's in sight. Yeah, runway's in sight. 12 o'clock. All right, we're on glide slope now. There we go. Yeah, it's hard when they descend you late. It really is. It really is. When they descend you late, it is a bitch because it's, you know, the airplane's too slippery. It really is. Way too slippery to be doing late approaches like this. Like the plane, these planes don't like to slow down. Their job is to be fast, and they don't like to slow down. And you start getting late, you start having problems. All right. That localizer's weirded me out. That's 1.5. That's 1.5 right in front of me here. The localizer weirded me out. I don't know why the localizer is so far off, unless it comes in a little bit crooked. Maybe my course is off? I don't think so. It was 149. It's in there correctly. But whatever, I'm visual. See how it's like a full dot off to the right? I don't know what's up with that. Yeah, I don't know what's up with that. 110.7, let me quickly look at the chart. Yeah, 110.7. I gotta quickly get back in game, out of the charts. There we go. Yeah, I don't know what the deal is, why that's off. See that little runway off to my left? That is 1.5 left. So like you don't have to worry about mistaking 1.5 right, 1.5 left. 1.5 left is way too small for a plane like this. That runway all the way over to the right there, that's the one where I hit 50 birds coming in one day. They all came up right when I was landing. My seat just in here. It's gonna ruin
300.
the video.
Sync rate.
Shut up, we're good.
Sync rate.
We're fine. We're fine. Just chill.
100. 50. 40. 30. 20. 10. 5.
You want to get that nose down pretty quick, because if you hit your brakes with that nose in the ground, it's going to slam the nose down. You want to put the nose down and then start getting on the brakes. All right, we're going to take this right turn right here.
Airbus November 666 Charlie Charlie, contact ground on 121.75.
2175, see ya. Now we're going to get a hot brake on that one. I would say we're going to get a hot brake on that one.
121.75 Airbus November 666 Charlie Charlie. Goodbye.
No, no, we didn't get a hot brake. I'm going to turn the fan on anyway. Ground, tune it. Come on, man. Yeah, everything's going real slow right now in
Boston
the
ground
game.
Airbus November 666 Charlie Charlie, taxi to the gate.
Airbus November 666 Charlie Charlie, taxi to gate Bravo Tree 2 via taxiway Golf Charlie Cross runway 22 left Charlie Cross runway 22 right Charlie.
All right, so if you know the airport, which I do, I've been here quite a bit. I used to be based out of here. That's Charlie right there. This crossing taxiway, and they're clearing us across both runway 22s, left and right. So we're gonna take a right here. We'll have to find the gate.
666 Charlie Charlie, please acknowledge.
Yeah, I'll get to you when I get to you. Like again, I'm trying to be the pilot flying and the pilot not flying at the same time, so it's busy.
Taxiing to gate Bravo Tree 2 using taxiway Golf Charlie.
On the ground, the
Cross,
captain
22 left
taxis
Charlie
generally
Cross
in the
runway 22 right
FO
Charlie, Airbus November
runs the
666
radios.
Charlie Charlie.
like all that cleanup work, bringing up the flaps, putting away the spoilers, turning off the lights, that would be all done by the first officer. First officer would do all that stuff. Like the captain might click off the spoilers. We're crossing 22 left. Cleared across 22 right. Generally, they're not going to clear across both unless they're not using them at all. They're probably taking off one of these runways if they're landing on 15 right. They're not going. Boston's not going down to one runway. They'll take off 25 left and right, and they'll land 15 right. The Sock's pretty calm. All right, cleared across. This is 22 right. When in doubt, look at the compass. I'm not sure where they're gonna park us here. Charlie something, and I don't know which one they want to park us on here. Let's go ahead and. Thinking it's this one right here with the blue. Let me just double check. See this one right here? I think that's the one. Let's go ahead and turn on the bullshit and we'll see. Yeah, that's it. You can see it right there. That's the right gate. Haha, I got it. All right. Yep, that's it. Discard. Thanks. That's the right gate. Yeah, see, they're telling me to hold for that forklift. Yeah, she's going to want to reply on that one because that's a mandatory readback.
Roger, Airbus November 666, Charlie, Charlie.
Alright. Shit, where's this gate? He's got me driving stop. That's me bringing the thrust up too high. That's why that goes off. Is this an end gate? I can't fucking tell. No, he's got me going in this way. All right, this is this way. There's supposed to be a line in the middle to line you. See how it makes this U? There should be a line in the middle to align you. So see, he wants me going straight now. He wants me to go a little bit left. Just a little bit. When he stops doing that bullshit, that's when I will stop. Still wants me left. Now he wants me straight, so I don't turn at all anymore. And again, I've already pushed the thrust up. It takes that long for it to spool up. And then he's not going to go back anymore because that would be too easy for me. He still wants me to come forward a little bit. Yeah, I'm trying, man. See, I've already spooled up the engines. I have to wait for them. There we go. Now he's crossed them. All right, we're good. All right, and that was a good one. The hour and 4 flight from DC to Boston. Nice. Yeah, they were just super duper late on the descent. So I had to throw my gear out to get slowed down. I went ahead and just like started packing on flaps. We probably could have gone without overspeeding them, but it was like, it's like 5 or 10 knots. It's not gonna not a big deal, especially in the game. But I needed to slow down. Like, literally, I was running with my spoilers out for most of the approach because they just gave me my descent so late. Like, I should have already been down. Because eventually you're going to get to the point where, you'll have spoilers out, you'll have gear out, you'll have flaps out, and you'll be struggling to get down in time. So those are all the tools you have. And, ATC should not be delaying you that late that you need gear and full flaps and a spoiler to get out. Because, like, literally you can't. You noticed... This airplane bitched at me. It was completely red on the speed, and that's because under, I believe, 210 knots, you can't deploy or you're not supposed to deploy the spoilers in this plane. So it's that was a problem too. Let me see. I'll check some chat here, and then we'll head out. Is it optimal to land with a headwind and take off with a headwind because it mimics aircraft air? No, the main reason you're landing off with a headwind and tailwind is, let's say that you have let's say you have the worst, well, like an absolutely terrible headwind. Let's say it's 100 knots. If your rotation speed is 125 knots, you're going to take off with a ground speed, how fast you're going over the ground, of 25 knots. So that's a piece of cake, right? You could take off in hundreds of feet probably. Because all you have to do is accelerate from 0 to 25. That's it. And you'll be able to take off. Real easy. So you use up very little runway. It's a piece of cake. Now let's say you have the same example, but you have a 100-knot tailwind. So now you have to take off at 225 knots. Now your tires are probably not rated for 225 knots. You might not be able to take off at all. And the problem is, if you have to slam on the brakes to stop and you have a 100-knot tailwind, it is pushing you. So that's why you take off into the wind and you land. You can land with a tailwind. Like, I've done it many a times. You have a 10-knot tailwind. You land with a 10-knot tailwind. You're going to be doing a ground speed. If your approach is 135, you're going to be doing a ground speed of 145. That is pretty reasonable. You should be fine. If you have really short runways, you need the headwind and the tailwind. You're not going to be able to stop. You know, so that's the main thing. Yeah, if you go through like really bad thunderstorms are more dangerous than flying through a hurricane. You can fly through a hurricane because it's pretty steady wind. Like, it might be 100-knot winds, but it's steady. The problem with the thunderstorm is the reason why rain stays in a thunderstorm, like literally the rain is staying in a cloud in the air. And it's because the updrafts are so strong that the updraft can hold the water in there. And the reason it rains is at some point the air can no longer hold the water in the cloud, and that's what causes all that rain to fall. And then as the rain comes down, it starts to cool, and you'll start to get the cold air coming down, and that's what a microburst is you can see a microburst. It looks like an upside down mushroom, and those are super dangerous. They had a 7.4 went into a thunderstorm and lost 30,000 feet because the wind was pushing downward in the thunderstorm, pushing it toward the ground. You know, so you got a 747 with a lot of power, 4 engines, and could not escape until it lost 30,000 feet in a thunderstorm. You know, that's how nasty a thunderstorm can be. So I'd rather fly in a hurricane than a thunderstorm. Yep, cumulonimbus clouds. Thank you, thank you. Yep. All right, guys, thanks for watching. If you liked the video, make sure you like the video. If you're new and enjoyed it, consider subscribing. And I will see you guys later. I'm considering doing a multiplayer Stormwork stream tomorrow. I'm going to do the sign-up sheet for members and long-time subscribers. We'll see. We'll probably get quite a few people tomorrow. But that's the plan. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.